Okay, and then last but not least, before we jump into the actual DDJ-1000 buttons themselves, I have one or two small favors to ask of you as the viewer, and that is to one, please subscribe to the channel, especially if you like seeing this content. And then two, consider liking the video because it is support from you that really helps to make the channel grow, but it also motivates me to continue producing, editing, and release these videos to help fellow DJs like you. Okay, so this is the top or bird's eye view of the DDJ-1000. So what you have before you is 4 decks in the center console right here. This is the center mixing console. You have the decks themselves on the left and the right. And this plays decks 1 and 3, and then this side, the right side, plays decks 2 and 4, and that corresponds to the numbers up here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So how you should read these track channels is 1, 2, 3, 4 from left to right, starting with the center tracks themselves first. And these are the volume faders, and the numbers on here go from 0 to 10. You could adjust the volume sensitivity within your Rekordbox DJ software preferences. I'll show you that a bit later. But that sensitivity will denote whether this volume progresses in a linear fashion or more logarithmically. So the track can start quiet, 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 quiet in a logarithmic fashion, and they get very loud towards the end, or it can be a steady state linear progression of volume from 0 to 10 as you raise these track channel faders. So that is a bit of a personal preference. Now on the bottom of these track channel faders, you have letters A and B and through, and that corresponds to this fader. So this is A, this is B, and then through is either. So if you have them set to the center, which some DJs prefer, that means it doesn't matter where this fader is. You've effectively disengaged this fader. This fader is for scratch DJs, and that is you can basically gate in sounds by tapping in the button when these are set to the left and to the right. So generally you would have 1 and 3 set to A, this side, tracks 2 and 4 set to B, this side, and then when you gate this effect, you can effectively hear track 1 and 3 if you're scratching or introducing another sound on the left side. And same thing here. If you're over here and you go like this, you can introduce a sound on the right side, or decks 2 and 4. And again, you switch these decks with these numbers right here, and you'll see the number adjust on the screen itself, on the jog wheel screen itself. So 2, 4. And same thing here, 1 and 3. And you see the number right there, 3, 1. Generally, if you are a beginner, you are not going to use tracks 3 and 4. You only use tracks 1 and 2. So you're pretty much only going to be using these 2 tracks. And in fact, even for intermediate and advanced DJs, in most cases that will be the case. Where tracks 3 and 4 come into power and come into play is when you want to plan your set several moves in advance, or you're doing a complex routine and you are introducing a 3rd and a 4th sound. That's where these 2 tracks can become more powerful and really enhance your DJ sets. But for right now, we'll just focus on tracks 1 and 2. So I'm going to continue with the mixing portion. We won't get to the effects right now. I just wanted to describe what's happening. So you have track 1 here and you have track 2 here. They come together through this mixing portion of your DDJ-1000, and then the audio shoots out from your master out channel, which is right here with this volume, and the meters are right here. And this cable will go to the actual stereo sound source. On these 2 tracks themselves, you have EQ. Generally, you want to have these buttons in the 12 o'clock position, and that's denoted by the white line. So the white line will tell you where you need to be. So this would be like 11 o'clock, or would be a slight cut. This would be the 7 o'clock and a majority cut. In most cases, you won't be touching the highs and the mids. You will at times, because as a DJ, you do need to use your ears and provide the most pleasant sound experience for your audience. But most DJs will be touching the low end because too much low end will create a muddy mix. And if one track is coming out, so for example, if track 1 is coming out, you'll reduce this bass maybe as you're bringing in the bass on the second track or track 2. And then you have the trim or the gain knob, and this is the overall volume. And then up top, you have USB, phono line, USB-B, USB-A, phono line, USB-B. I generally keep these set to USB-A. Sometimes if I want to have a backup, I may have an iPhone or a separate device and switch either deck 3 or deck 4 to phono line, and then you can connect your phono line input to an external device, and then you can play a song through an external device. So for example, if you don't have that song, you could play the song through a streaming source, and then that way you could take requests on the fly rather than trying to download these tracks in the middle of your DJ sets.
3, 2, 1, lose it.